Okay, shall we start? It is already 3:16. Frantz Fanon's Wretched of the Earth will take time. Okay, shall we start? Everybody. Anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
76 students are present. Okay,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
possible, ask your classmates to join because this is a little difficult essay. So many connectivities.
Ma'am,
With Frantz Fanon. Okay. Last topic. Frantz Fanon's the Wretched of the Earth.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
1 minute. First, in this work, first we have to discuss the importance of the preface of this work, and then the main text. Okay.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
You can just mute everyone so that you won't get any disturbance.
Okay.
And you can
But I
enable
need
that,
response, no? Sometimes I ask, did you understand? Then at least one or
but
two.
in between, what happened? Like this, some mobiles are just unmuting.
Okay.
We can't.
No problem. Okay. When I will ask, I will unmute. Okay.
Just enable that unmute option and ask that.
Okay.
After that, you can just mute it.
Okay. No problem. Mute all. So, the Wretched of the Earth is in the page number 244. It is by Frantz Fanon, and the preface to Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth is one more important aspect which we have to deal. Then the preface is separately written by Jean-Paul Sartre. So to understand the essay, the critical essay, very important, we have to focus on both the authors. First, Jean-Paul Sartre's preface, and then Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. First, to understand the essay, we need to understand the socio-political aspects. This is the world map in different colors. See, blue color represent first world. This is called as first world. I will tell you what is first world. Then red color represents the second world. The second world countries. First world countries, blue represents first world countries, red represents second world countries, and green, all these are green in color. Even India is in green color. It is third world countries. These are all third world countries. Next, Frantz Fanon belongs to Martinique. Frantz Fanon's main nativity is Martinique. What is Martinique? It is one of the islands of Caribbean islands. These are all Caribbean islands. I don't know whether you have one work of Derek Walcott. We have Derek Walcott, one Caribbean writer, Caribbean playwright. He was born in Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia is also one of the islands of a group of Caribbean islands. This is Caribbean Sea, and these are all Caribbean islands. These Caribbean islands were also colonized. Colonized means they were under the control of France. That is the reason we call them as French West Indies. These are group of Caribbean islands. This is Puerto Rico, then Saint Martin, here Martinique, Dominica, Saint Lucia. These are very famous. Many writers are from these Caribbean islands, and the literature which is produced in these islands is called as Caribbean literature. Caribbean literature is also most important part, most important field of study presently in literature. Literature is becoming very vast, and presently it is considered as world literature. It is not British literature or American literature or Indian writings in English. No, we call it as world literature because many of these different nations, they are contributing. So what are first world countries? First world countries are those with high standards of living, like America, Australia, Europe, that is our Great Britain, etc. First world countries are those with high standards of living and stable economies. Their economies are very stable. They have strong currency, dollars, okay, high economic power, low inflation rates, and access to education for all citizens. Means there is no, point of, or there is no, anybody is deprived of education. These countries are wealthy with high quality infrastructure, abundant natural resources, and a strong national defense system. Examples include United States, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, etc. Even Great Britain also. Second world countries, they refer to the former communist socialist countries. Even China and Russia, they are socialist communist countries. Communism is in China. Socialist is in Russia. They also have stable economies and developed infrastructure, but are less industrialized. They are less industrialized. These countries may lack some of the benefits that are compared with the first world countries. They enjoy like universal health care or free education at public schools. Examples might be China or Russia. Okay, next. Third world, very important. Third world countries are those which have low levels of development, low level, and low living standards. These countries may lack the stability that first or second world countries enjoy. They are characterized by low levels of infrastructure, fewer natural resources. Our all natural resources are exploited. We might be also in first world countries if we are not colonized. These colonies, they were established and they have exploited our natural resources and a less developed production base. They have very high unemployment rates. India has high unemployment rates and large gaps in income distribution. Our income distribution is a chaos. Rich remains rich, poor remains poor among different social classes. Examples include Brazil and India. Brazil is in South America. It is in one of the important countries in South America or Latin America. This is Latin America. This is Latin or South America. Brazil is somewhere here in this place. Okay. And India. You know better about India. Okay. There is also a term called fourth world countries. Surprising. There is fourth world countries also. What are these? That include cultural entities or ethnic groups or indigenous people that have never been incorporated as a part of a nation state, including some indigenous tribal groups. Even in India, we have varieties of tribals. These tribal literature or tribal equality or these things will come under fourth world literature. They are not included in the mainstream of communities. Fourth world literature comes under the indigenous tribal groups. For example, I'll give you only one example. In Andaman and Nicobar Islands, we have many indigenous tribal groups, which we can consider them as fourth world group. We have Sentinelese, Gonds, then Jarawas. These are different indigenous tribal groups, which we cannot consider them into mainstream community or mainstream living inhabitants. Those places or those groups are called as fourth world countries. Okay. Now, Frantz Fanon. This is Frantz Fanon, who lived between 1925 to 1961. Which class? Ashwini, Ashwini, this is literary criticism class, 5th paper, and we are dealing with the last topic, the wretched of the earth. Okay, Ashwini, hope you will get that from your book. This is Frantz Fanon, who lived between 1925 and 1961. He was born in Martinique. Martinique is one of the islands in Caribbean islands, which were colonized by the French colonies. This is his book, The Wretched of the Earth, in English version. Actually, it is written in French language. Frantz Fanon, Les Dames de la Terre. Les Dames de la Terre. This is the actual book which he has written. Later it was translated. This is The Wretched of the Earth. Now, he is an Algerian political theorist. His roots are from Algeria. See, this is Africa. Somewhere, if you will check in your map, somewhere here in the topmost part of Africa, you will find Algeria. Okay, you will find here Algeria, and here his roots are from Algeria. He is Algerian political theorist, born in the French colony of Martinique. As I told you, he is born in Martinique, means his parents belonged to Algeria and they were traveled to these Caribbean islands as slaves. These are small Caribbean islands. They are his family, means Frantz Fanon's family, it traveled to Caribbean islands as slaves, bought slaves. They were bought. French colony, it is a French colony. It was dominated by French colonies. As India is dominated by which colony? British colony. Algeria and Caribbean islands, they were colonized by French colonies. He is a psychiatrist. See? So even this important essay has very psychological elements also. He is a psychiatrist, philosopher, revolutionary. That is the reason The Wretched of the Earth, first chapter is on violence. This, what you will see in that essay, especially the points are based on the violence. They have talked about both in preface, Jean-Paul Sartre, and even in the essay, Frantz Fanon, they have talked about the violence at a large. And he is a writer also. His works are influential, highly influential works he has produced in the fields of post-colonial studies. It is colonial, then post-colonial. What is meant by post-colonial? After colonialism, something after. Your exams got postponed. What is meant by postponed? Means from the actual dates, it delayed. They got delayed. They will be conducted somewhere in the future. Post-colonial means after, not after independence, Subhash. After independence means post-independence, but here it is post-colonialism, means countries which got freedom, which got independence from colonies. Okay, means after independence means getting released from their clutches, and independence means getting the rights of ruling ourselves. This is the thin line difference between Subhash's point and my point. My point is post-colonial, means after or when the colonization ends, and Subhash point is independence, when we gain our own authority to rule our own people. That is independence. Means there is a small gap. Okay, now like for example, I'll give you the example. 1947 August 15th is our release. It is release, that is independence, released from the colonial impact or colonial rule. What is January 26th? That is gaining the authority to rule ourselves. That is Ganatantra, Republic Day, where we have our own republic, we have done our own constitution to rule our own country. Clear? So fields of post-colonial studies, he has given a lot of priority. He has written so many works which are highly influential. Then critical theory also, he has contributed to critical theory and especially Marxism. So there are certain views even in this essay which demands for our knowledge about Marxism. We have to talk about Marxism as well. Yes, correct. Republic Day, on which we adopted our constitution. We have started implementing our constitution. Correct. He volunteered. He volunteered means participated. He took interest in for the French army during World War II. He participated in World War II also. Okay. See, I have muted everybody, but still there is a sound behind. I don't know who's that. Okay, no problem. So he volunteered for the French army. Means he fought, on behalf of, as a soldier in French army during the World War II. He was a part of Algerian War of Independence. I will discuss what is Algerian War of Independence. In 1950, he became an editor of its newspaper. Which newspaper? Of Algerian War of Independence newspaper, which is called as Al Mujahid. Its name is Al Mujahid, published in Tunis. Tunis is a place. In 1960, he was appointed ambassador to Ghana. After independence, he was appointed as an ambassador to Ghana. This is also one place in Africa. That same year, Fanon was diagnosed leukemia, means it is a kind of cancer, and he died. Okay. Now, his most, I didn't write every writing. His most important works are Black Skin, White Masks. Black Skin, White Marks in 1952, A Dying Colonialism in 1959, The Wretched of the Earth, 1961, Towards the African Revolution. This is in 1964, means after his death. This is published after his death. That is called as posthumously. Now, The Wretched of the Earth, 1961. The Wretched of the Earth is a brilliant analysis of the psychology of the colonized and their path to liberation. How much psychologically they got affected and they craved for liberation. Brilliant analysis of the psychology of the colonized and their path to liberation. Fanon defines and explains colonialism. First, he defines and explains colonialism. Then decolonization. What is meant by decolonization? From a political, philosophical, historical, and socio-cultural perspective. That is the reason I told this essay is a very long and time-taking essay, because he is trying to define and then explain the political aspects of political perspective, philosophical perspective, historical, then socio-cultural perspective of colonialism and decolonization as well. Defines Frantz Fanon defines colonialism and its constructs in the essay. The psychology of colonialism. What is the psychology of colonialism? And its subtle effects, subtle results on the colonized. Colonized means people who are suppressed or who are oppressed by these colonizers. Means the victims. We can call them as victims. The use of language as a tool of oppression. What language did they use as a tool of oppression or suppression? And the most important, the need for a violent revolution. I will highlight this because I told you they have talked much about violent revolution. The name of the chapter 1 itself is concerning violence or on violence against the colonial ruling class. Colonization is a creation. Colonization is a creation of two conflicting societies. Colonization is a creation, please understand, of two conflicting societies. In between, there are two societies which enter into conflict. One of the colonizer and one of the colonized. Even in India, it happened. You can substitute, or you can draw same kind of things. Even in India also suffered. Of course, there is Algeria, Caribbean islands, which are getting suppressed by France. Here it is India or Indians who are getting suppressed by the British rule. Both these countries, they suffered in the hands of colonizers. Even we Indians have to decolonize. Our Gandhiji propounded non-violence, whereas Frantz Fanon propounded violence. That is the difference. Okay, they gained independence in 1961. Algerian nation, they gained independence in 1961. We got independence in 1947. Our method is non-violence, their method is violence. But Frantz Fanon, as one of the national leaders, he is supporting violence, and he is telling us, or telling the readers, what is the importance of violence, or why violence is very much needed, why we cannot avoid violence. Gandhiji propounded non-violence, and he is one of the leaders. He is having his own perspective, whereas Frantz Fanon is supporting, he's advocating violence, and he has his own support, strong basis also. Let us see what is the strong basis in the essay, why he is supporting violence. Whether you agree with Frantz Fanon or not, this is up to you. Whether you will support our Gandhiji and his non-violence, or will you support Frantz Fanon and his violence, let us see. Okay, now the book concentrates on the unlawful, unlawful and unjust treatment given by the invaders, whether it is French or Portuguese or Britishers or Dutch. Mostly all invaders, they came from Europe, and majorly there are four. Who are these four or five? First one is Britishers, second one is French, third is Portuguese, fourth is Spanish, and fifth one is Dutch. There are colonies. These people, they occupied the other nations in the name of two. What is this? In the name of two, they started colonizing these weaker countries. Yes, exploitative. Correct, Subhash. It is exploitative also. In the name of religion, in the name of civilization, and last but not least, it is exploitation. As Subhash mentioned, it is exploitation. It is hidden. యాక్చువల్గా వాళ్ళ ఉద్దేశం దోచుకోవడానికే వచ్చారు, కానీ పైకి మాత్రం రెండు పేర్లు ఏం చెప్పారండి? ఫస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ సివిలైజేషన్. దే నో యాజ్ ఇఫ్ దే ఆర్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆర్ మోస్ట్ civilized people in the world. They felt that they have to civilize other nations also. They have to bring light in the lives of other nations also. That is civilization. And second one is missionary, Christian missionaries. They wanted to propagate their religion. But hidden, what is the hidden notion? Hidden notion is exploitation, to gain business, to bring business to their countries. Okay, so invaders, that is the reason I mentioned all this. The book concentrates on the unlawful, unjust treatment. Anyayamanga unnadi, అధర్మంగా ఉన్నవి చెప్తున్నారన్నమాట. ట్రీట్మెంట్ గివెన్ బై ద ఇన్వేడర్స్, విచ్ ఆర్ ద యూరోపియన్స్. మోస్ట్లీ ద ఇన్వేడర్స్ ఆర్ యూరోపియన్స్. This is true. Everybody will accept. Fanon advocated. What is meant by advocated? Like a lawyer, like a supporter. He advocated. Why we are using a word advocate here? Advocate means one who is a lawyer, one who is an argumentator, one who argues violence. One who argues violence against the settlers as the way for which colonized people to regain their sense of self-respect. It is very important. Psychological self-respect is I will scold one of you. I will scold one of you in the group. What happens? scolding somebody unnecessarily will hurt your self-respect. That will make you to leave classes. You will not attend classes for 2 or 3 days because you are psychologically disturbed. I didn't beat you physically, I didn't beat you economically, I didn't take money from you, but psychologically I suppressed you, psychologically I insulted you. That is self-respect దెబ్బతీయటము అంటే అదే. Here, Fanon advocated violence. He is supporting violence. He is encouraging violence. He is not like our Gandhiji, who he is encouraging violence against whom? Against the settlers. Settlers means one who came from different place to this place. Means the invaders. దూసుకుంటూ లోపలికి వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళు. అగెయిన్స్ సెటిలర్స్, వాళ్ళని తరిమడానికి, వాళ్ళని బయటికి గెంటేయడానికి వయలెన్స్ యూజ్ చేయొచ్చట, తప్పులేదట. We can use for Hindi medium students, I am telling you, we can use violence to get rid of, to make these settlers to get away from our land. We can use violence as the way for which colonized people to regain their sense of self-respect, because these many days they were insulted, they were tortured. To gain their self-respect, we can depend on violence. It is a good thought, or it is a good method. It is for self-respect. We are using violence. It is not for fun. It is not to see bloodshed. It is not to see somebody getting killed. It is not animality. It is only for the sake of self-respect we are depending on violence. Otherwise, we are not interested in violence. It is a point of, it is a question of self-respect. నా పరువు పోయింది, నాకు చాలా ఆత్మాభిమానం దెబ్బతినింది, అందుకని నేను వైలెన్స్ లోకి వెళ్తాను. దట్ ఈస్ ద పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రాన్స్ ఫ్యాన్. Even if anti-colonial violence were the only way to regain a sense of self-respect, however, such violence would not be automatically justifiable. Here we have a Manichean world. This will come in between the essay. I have just mentioned this here. Okay, Manichean world, which means a world cut into, separated into. Cut into means separated into white and black. This world is separated into white world and black world. Means what? White represents good world and black represents evil world, with no room for complexity. Means this room is very, very congested. There is no room for complexity. Means freedom, for free movement, for free shopping. What is a shopping complex? Complex means varieties of ways, varieties of windows to get into. The big mall where you have so many options, where you have so many alternatives to take. But here, this world is only cut into two pieces, white world and black world, where there is no room for another option. There is no option left. No room for complexity, no room for variety. Only two things, either this or that. Only two options. If you want to turn towards bad, you have to lose, you have to lose good. If you have to turn towards good, you have to lose bad. That's it. There is no complexity. There is no in-between way. There is no in-between way. మనకి చాలా సార్లు అంటారు కదా, ఐదర్ నువ్వు నన్ను ప్రేమించాలి, లేదంటే నువ్వు నన్ను అసహించుకోవాలి, అంతే, రెండే ఆప్షన్లు. No, there must be some in-between yellow line called friendship. Let us be friends. That is called a medium method, or a in-between method, which is there, where there is no option in this Manichean world. This is called there is a mention when we will study that essay, we will come across this word called Manichean world. Manichean world is a world which is separated into white and black. That is, white represents good, black represents evil, and there is no room for another variety or any other complexity. Okay, next, the colonists depicts the colonized as absolutely evil. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. The colonists who came as invaders, who entered into our own land, they depicted the colonized as absolutely evil because we are not like them. We are not having the same civilization which they follow. That is the reason they consider us as evils. And sometimes goes so far as to depict the colonized as subhuman or mere an animal. They considered us as animals. They considered us as non-humans. Non-humans in the sense not having feelings, emotions, or any kind of pain, or we doesn't have any kind of, our own opinion kind of a thing. They considered us as subhumans or even an animal. But actually, very ironically, we can say that humanism actually started in Europe. Humanism started actually in Italy and France. Francisco Petrarch is considered as the father of humanism. From dark ages of Europe, it changed into humanism. That is called as point of Renaissance. Renaissance means when humanism started. But surprisingly, these invaders from the same place, Europe, they started considering these colonized people or weak people as in my sense, weak people means those who don't want to explore, those who are contented with whatever they have. What is the difference between Indians and Europeans? Indians, they never left their place. They were contented with whatever they have. This contentment is most important in our philosophy. We were contented, we were happy with whatever we have. We were happy with our natural resources, we were happy with our culture, we were happy with our own civilization. It's okay. That is the reason we never went crossing these waters. But Europeans who are not contented with whatever they have, they wanted to explore. They wanted to gain. Lot of means atyas equating. They wanted to gain, they wanted to exploit. In the name of business, they started exploiting, they started torturing, they started ruling, they started dividing people. They were taking advantage of their science. With the help of the science also they dominated. And last but not least, they have a very important misconception that colonized are subhuman or mere animal. Even that was mentioned by Frantz Fanon in his essay as supreme monkey. Then a paragraph chadutanu appudu meeku kuda ardham avustadi, supreme monkey. They considered Africans or Algerians as supreme monkey. That's it. Not as human beings. Here we have Jean-Paul Sartre, who has presented a preface. Preface means what? Mundu mata. Preface, foreword to the essay, to the main essay, Frantz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. Jean-Paul Sartre, who lived between 1905 and 1980. He was a French philosopher. See, Frantz Fanon is an Algerian, means colonized, and Sartre is French, means colonizer. Please remember, I hope you identified this. Frantz Fanon is colonized, means he is from French colony Martinique. He was born in Martinique. His roots are from Algeria. His parents are from Algeria. Here in your text, father is Algerian, whereas mother has a mixture. She is a hybrid woman. His her background is completely a mixed background. If you will study that particular sentence, you will understand what is it meant by hybrid. Okay, see, Frantz Fanon is colonized, whereas Jean-Paul Sartre is French philosopher. He's a colonizer, means his nation colonized Algerians. He was born in Paris. Sartre was a pioneering intellectual and proponent of existential philosophy. I hope you remember existential philosophy of your previous previous year. In fifth paper, literature of the 20th century, you have existential philosophy. Based on that existential philosophy, we have Waiting for Godot and others. Okay, what existential philosophy says? It says about the absurdity of this universe. This universe is completely chaotic, and in that chaotic world, we should try to exist and make ourselves, our life, essence. We should bring certain essence into our life. This world is anyways chaotic. Our existence is okay, but simply existence will not work. You have to make your existence filled with essence. You should bring, you are a human being, you should become something. Being from becoming. Present conditions only, important is reality. We have prefaced by Sartre in post-colonial paper. Okay. See, let us find some meaning. Okay, we will both, all of us, we will try to understand preface of Jean-Paul Sartre. Okay, pay attention. That's it. Now, he was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1964, although he denied it, though he was given, Nobel Prize in the year 1964, but he denied it. He didn't accept. The preface to the Wretched of the Earth deals with the European domination of the earth that resulted in the exploitation of the black world politically. Black world means here specifically Africa. Okay, specifically Africa, not India. India was not considered as black world. It was considered only as third world nation. Okay, black world means all these Caribbean islands, West Indies, and Africa, mostly northern Africa. Okay, even South Africa also. You know, South Africa, participation of Gandhiji was first in South African freedom movement. Later, he joined India. Okay, so black world means Africa, politically, economically, psychologically. This is very important. We can easily identify political impact, economical impact, and sociological impact. But psychologically, what is happening in the mind of the victim, it is very difficult to know. It is very difficult to identify. And violence actually starts from mind. It is not political suppression or economical suppression will affect much, but it is psychological suppression. Psychologically, if I suppress you, there will be a great violence from inside coming, from you. Okay, this is very dangerous. Among all these, psychological suppression is very, very dangerous. We never expect when the person will become rebellious. It is direct connectivity with violence. Politically, economically, sociologically, we can bear, we can tolerate. But psychological suppression, there is no limit. There is no, a kind of hint when a person will become violent. He says racism gradually resulted in the rise of capitalism. This is Marxist view. Racism means ethnic groups, my race, your race, and one race dominating other race will lead to what? It resulted in the rise of capitalism. Capitalism means పెట్టుబడిదారి తత్వం అన్నమాట. పెట్టుబడి అంటే బాగా rich people will start dominating poor people. Here Marxism has divided the society. Marxist society has divided world into two, like bourgeoisie and proletarian. This is also mentioned in your textbook. Marxist leaders, they have divided society into two, bourgeoisie and proletarian. Okay, you will find the spellings here, no problem. I will give you the numbers. Bourgeoisie means the capitalists, one who invest money in the business, and proletarian means one who starts working under that capitalistic society, means working class. Bourgeoisie means the capital, the investors, and proletarian means the working class, one who works in their companies, one who works in their industries. Okay, did you understand? Next, what are the main objectives? Sartre's main objective is to create a platform for the idea of decolonization. Idea of decolonization, and translate Western humanism into third world countries. Now, did you understand why I mentioned, why I have shown you here third world countries? These are third world countries which are colonized, which don't have their own natural resources. All their natural resources are already exploited. These are green color are third world nations. Please check. Please check. Decolonization and translate Western humanism into third world countries to realize the concept of self-respect. Sartre's main object. What is Jean-Paul Sartre's main objective to write the preface for Wretched of the Earth essay? Excuse me, is to create a platform. The main objective is to create one opportunity, create one platform for the idea of decolonization. What is meant by decolonization? Decolonization is truly connected to psychological aspect. How many of you will put in your mind, are we decolonized Indians? Are we decolonized? Any one of you, please give me the answer. Okay, I will mute you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, mute all. No. Okay, how many of you please tell me that do you feel that we are decolonized?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we decolonized?
Yes, we are.
Okay, one boy, another girl, they all said that we are decolonized. Anybody who want to put another opposite, that I say that we are not colonized, or we are we are not decolonized. I say that, students, I strongly feel that we are not decolonized. We are still under the colonial impact. How many of you will agree? How many of you will agree with me?
Ma'am, because of the disillusionment, I feel like.
Okay. Religiously. Subhash, what is meant by religiously? Religiously, are we decolonized? I didn't understand. Context.
In terms of area, you are.
In terms of area, we are decolonized. Subhash, please give me your answer. You are very active.
Ma'am, in terms of politicians, because our own people are being corrupted, so we feel like, still we are in the colonization state.
Okay. Little different way of thinking. Very good. I say we are not decolonized because we are still under the impact of colonization. Why? Because still we are not even connected to our traditional roots. We are not ready to go back to our traditional roots. It is not a small time. 200 years of rule is not a small time. Though they left us, though we are ruling ourselves, still we have the same system of governing ourselves. Same. Indian Army is a reflection of British Army. Parliament, Indian Parliament is a reflection of British Parliament.
And one more thing. Ma'am, one more thing.
Following. Yes.
One more thing. We are giving so much of importance to English language.
Very good. Our communication is happening in English. Of course, presently this thought is different. See, whoever answered, I cannot see your name. Under the name of received pronunciation, we have established Indian English. There is no, we are not following British English. English now became very, very democratic. It became truly free. Because under the name of received pronunciation, our Indian English is also highly established. Indian English or Indians, they can understand any kind of accent, any kind of English. We proved ourselves. But what my point is that we are not decolonized. We are not disconnecting ourselves with our colonizers. Only rule is not there, but we try to imitate them. Imitation is called as mimicry by Homi Bhabha. Homi Bhabha said, we are trying to imitate our colonizers. We try to follow them. We are actually impressed by their methods of living. Only thing which we didn't like is their oppression, their most injustice kind of oppression we didn't like. That's it. But otherwise, we were actually highly fascinated by their methods. We were highly impressed because there is a liberal way of thinking in their nations. Our mind is not decolonized. Here, Saath's main objective is to create a platform for the idea of decolonization and translate. After decolonization, he is asking us to translate Western humanism, because all these years they have behaved in a barbaric way. French people or whoever it is, they have behaved in a barbaric way. Yes, correct, Subhash. So barbaric means in a Rakshasa way. All these years they have tortured us. Okay, and we have tolerated. Very good. Okay, but at the same time, Saath is telling that humanism was evolved in West, that is in Europe. Into the third world countries, humanism should enter into third world countries to realize the concept of self-respect. He is advocating, he is supporting Frantz Fanon's view towards violence, but at the same time, he is propagating Western humanism also. Here it is very, very complicated element, very sensitive element he has inserted into the preface. On surface, superficially, we can say that Jean-Paul Sartre is supporting Frantz Fanon and violence against French colonies. To become free, to become independent, if you will use violence, it is okay. He is supporting that. But at the same time, he is saying that there is one more option to propagate Western humanism into third world countries. You can also behave like human beings. Because French colonies, they never understood, they never estimated you as human beings, because they have depicted human beings as subhumans or mere animals. Okay, you did violence. What will a lion do? Lion, tiger, or a big monkey, what will they do? They will only use violence. They cannot be friendly with you, right? Simply they cannot become friends to you. They have a wild nature. They will react wildly. They will do violence. Okay, agreed. But if Western humanism enters into this third world nations, third world countries, definitely they will realize the concept of self-respect, which is a human being quality. Did you understand now? Any one of you, please respond. Or do you want me to repeat? This is the crux of the preface. This is the most important point of the preface.
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Saath's main objective is to create a platform, is to create one opportunity, is to give one opportunity for the idea of decolonization. Because you want to become free, you want to get rid of colonizers' rule, decolonization, and translate Western humanism into third world countries. Colonization is also from Europe. Humanism is also from Europe. We are giving you both the options. Okay. third world countries to realize the concept of self-respect. Because they have considered French colonizers, British colonizers, they have considered you as subhuman or animals. You have reacted violently. It is okay. We will agree. No problem. But to understand or to imbibe humanism in your mind, you should realize the concept of self-respect. So, under the name of preface, he has discussed about the concept of violence, ambivalence of violence. What is meant by ambivalence? Ambivalence means doubtful or little, hesitation kind of a thing. Doubtful, you can say doubtful. Ambivalence means doubtful kind of approach or uncertainty. Like that, uncertainty or doubtful or little hesitation. Janku, Telugulo aithe jankuga antam kada, adagala voddo koncham jankyam madam antaru kada. That is ambivalence of violence. Is violence correct? Ambivalence means there is a doubtful attitude towards violence. Meaning and justifiability of violence. What is the meaning of violence and how correct is it? How much is it 100% correct? Justifiability of violence. Then he also talked about malnutrition and exploitation of these colonized people. What kind of food was given to them? Malnutrition and exploitation. This is, students, please understand, this is superficial physically. కనబడుతుంది మన బాడీలో వీళ్ళు సరిగ్గా తింటున్నారా లేదా అని ఆ బాడీని బట్టి చెప్పేస్తాము. మాల్ న్యూట్రిషన్, వాళ్ళకి సరిగ్గా భోజనం లేదండి, వాళ్ళు సరిగ్గా తినట్లేదండి అని చెప్పేస్తాం. దట్ ఈస్ మాల్ న్యూట్రిషన్. Whereas psychologically, how will you understand that it is a malnutritioned mind? It is not perfectly developed mind. There is no all-round development in their minds. Where a mind is without fear, that is called as all-round development of an individual. Suppose I will always suppress you. Mimmalni baga anichi pedtanu. Will you call it as all-round development? If you are highly afraid of me, if you are afraid of my punishment, will you be free with me? Will I give you 100% knowledge to you? No. It is not called as all-round development. That sense is also called as malnutrition, psychological. Malnutrition physically, that happens because if you will not eat properly, if you will not consume good food. But if good knowledge is also not imbibed in your mind, that is also called as malnutrition of mind, psychological. మన భాషలో చెప్పుకోవాలంటే ఇక్కడ చెప్పాలి, వాడు చిప్పు దొబ్బింది అంటాం కదా. చిప్పు దొబ్బడం అంటే ఏంటి? మైండ్ లో సరైన నాలెడ్జ్ లేదు, వాడి మైండ్ లో సరైన ఐడియాస్ లేవు, సరైనటువంటి లో ఎస్టీమ్, నాట్ ఆస్పిరేషనల్. కరెక్ట్. వై దిస్ హ్యాపెన్స్, సుభాష్? వై దిస్ హ్యాపెన్స్? లో ఎస్టీమ్, నాట్ ఆస్పిరేషన్, బికాస్ your mind is not given proper knowledge. It is not molded properly. It is not given a certain amount of space to grow properly. Whenever you are trying to do something, I will cut your wings, I will cut your ideas. No, this is not possible. That gives a kind of limitation to your mind. This also happened because of colonization. They were truly dominating. They were not giving opportunities to grow. They were not giving good aspects to grow. They were not creating a what is that called? A conducive environment to grow. For example, there is a flower. It is slowly blooming. A flower, a beautiful rose, it is slowly trying to bloom. One day, second day, third day, it is trying to bloom. By the fourth day, it will bloom completely. That is called as full growth of a flower. For example, I will cover it with a bottle. I will cover it with a lid. Then what happens? Its petals will not grow 100%. It is called as malnutrition of a flower. Then exploitation, physical exploitation, mentally exploitation, natural resources exploitation happened. Then colonial structure, he also talks about a colonial structure, which is a dominating structure. That's it. Very, very dominating structure. Capitalistic logic. What is capitalistic logic? Bourgeoisie and proletariat. Bourgeoisie means the people who will invest in industries, who will put a lot of effort to start one industry, and proletarian means working class, who will work there, who are dependents on these capitalist people, or the investors. This generally happens in every industry. That is the reason Marxist, or means that is Karl Marx, Lenin, Stalin, these people, they have all supported working class people. They have supported Communist Party, Socialist Communist Party. They have led a big revolution, industrial revolution, for the rights of working class people. This happened in Russia as well as in Germany also. Then colonial violence, decolonization. When does decolonization happens? Because it is psychologically, it will take a lot of time. Because we are affected psychologically, it will take a lot of time. Then third world nations, because of decolonization, because of colonial violence, all these aspects, there is a need, or there is a time for the evolvement of third world nations, which are highly suppressed nations, which have very low economy, very less opportunities for youngsters. Overall, the country will be undergrown. Overall, the country is considered as malnutritioned country. Debbatinna desamu అని చెప్పొచ్చు. Okay. Now, what is Algerian War of Independence? Algerian War of Independence, this is also called as War of 1st November. War of 1st November or Algerian War of Independence, both are same. As I told you, Algeria is situated on the northwest part of Africa. Northwest part of Africa. You can check in your internet or images. Algeria images. Google lo meer search cheyandi, definitely will find where is Algeria, and it is a Muslim dominated, Islam dominated country. Okay, Islamic country. One of the next. I can give you an example. Correct. We have Othello, William Shakespeare's Othello, right? In that Othello, the protagonist, is the Moor. Othello, the Moor. Moor. Moor means the person, means a Muslim, not from Middle East, but from Africa. Black. Moor is a black Muslim. Okay, and that is the reason Othello, you can find Moor. Moor. That man belongs to North Africa. He is a person from North Africa. Okay, next. The war was fought between 1954 to 1962, which led to Algeria winning its independence from France. India win its independence from British, like that Algeria winning its independence from France. It was an important decolonization war. Physically, it is a decolonization war, but psychologically, it took a lot of time to get decolonized. It is not a process which will end. But by the end of the essay, Frantz Fanon mentioned that it is not going to happen. Decolonization will not happen. Why? Because there are strong reasons he has mentioned. I will make you to read those sentences, which was a complex conflict characterized by guerrilla warfare. What is meant by guerrilla warfare? Like, means very violent. Guerrilla warfare means very violent warfare. Like we have Naxalism, Maoist, these things, these fights are all guerrilla warfare. Do you know what is guerrilla warfare? Guerrilla warfare means government and these leaders, they will involve themselves into very crude kind of violent kind of war is called as guerrilla. Okay, yes, Subhash knows what is guerrilla. Guerrilla means a war with serious weapons, attack after attack, serious encounters, definitely with weapons. And meanwhile, in between these wars, many innocent people will be killed. That is called as Northeast India, correct? And Haripriya, France used guerrilla or Algeria, ma'am? What is this? No, Haripriya, you got me wrong. France used guerrilla or Algeria. Okay, guerrilla warfare. It is from both the sides, Haripriya. It is from both the sides. Means they have entered into a violent warfare. Subhash, if I am not wrong, and if you know, please check with Sri Lankan Civil War also. What is Sri Lankan Civil War? It is between Sri Lankan government and the LTTE group, LTTE Prabhakaran group. It is also a guerrilla warfare because they have entered into a war completely with bloodshed, with strong weapons. మనం మంచిగా తెలుగులో చెప్పుకోవాలంటే ఐ మీన్ కన్ను కన్ను చెయ్యికి చెయ్యి కాలు కాలు తీసి పడేస్తారు అనమాట. మీన్స్ అటాక్ ఆఫ్టర్ అటాక్ దేర్ విల్ బి నో పీస్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్, దేర్ విల్ బి నో రెస్ట్, దేర్ విల్ బి నో సెక్యూరిటీ ఫర్ ఎ నార్మల్ కామన్ human being. Common citizen will be under always threat, bomb blasts, severe bomb blasts, etc. Sri Lankan Civil War was a war of 30 years. Sri Lankan Civil War is a war of 30 years, whereas Nepal Civil War is a Maoist rebellion. There is, in Nepal, it is very strong, Maoist rebellion. And Southeast India also, Northeast India also, guerrilla warfare. These are, is it Algeria used it on France, ma'am? Yes, correct. Two, means Algeria as colonized, as victims, because they are psychologically, economically, physically, sociologically, they were suppressed continuously. They were not able to tolerate anymore, and they entered into guerrilla warfare. Means they have selected violence to get rid of colonization. And in the year 1962, at last, it won its independence from France. And this guerrilla warfare, violent kind of warfare, was supported by Frantz Fanon. That is the important aspect why we are dealing with this essay. Violence ni enduku support chesadu, or what is the need of violence? Is there no other option? He said no, there is no other option. Violence is the correct means to get rid of colonization and to get decolonized. Okay, the conflict also became a civil war. This conflict between Algeria and France also became a civil war. Civil war between what? Civil war between the different communities and within the communities. This is, of course, this happens. This is unavoidable, inevitable. This happened even in India because we are, fighting against Britishers. Meanwhile, there was a gap. There was a disturbance between Hindus and Muslims. Also, Hindus, they got Hindustan, Muslims, they got Pakistan. This all happened. Partition happened. This is very common within communities. It also leads to civil war. Even this happened in Algeria. Many small minor communities, they entered into civil war. There were many separations. There were many groups, leftist groups also. Okay. That's why you said religiously. Okay. Now I understood. Correct. Okay. Religious aspects will differ. Sometimes views will differ. Do you know Indian National Congress, which was established in the year 1885, was also having so many branches, was also having so many, minor groups. Did you understand why I am always mentioning India and Indian national movement? Because you will understand it very easily. Okay, so have you gone through all the slides properly except welcome? No welcome, other slides. Then we will move into yes, moderate and extremist, and even extremist changed to terrorist. Correct. So what shall I do now? Shall we turn to the pages now? Chat, participants.
Break required.
Okay, you need a break. Okay, no problem. Okay, take break. Take break. Very nice. Nice rhyming.